It's encoding at the end, and this is a status, right? It'll say whether it's successful that it deleted or not. Right, so let's try it out. So let's return, remove the Hulk, and let's see here. Hulk, so delete. Okay, let's see if that worked. So this is what we returned. Notice that the server came back with an acknowledgement that there was one record that was indeed removed, right? So that if we come back here, so the Hulk's still there, but if we refresh, notice that there's 12 records. But if we refresh, it becomes 11, right? So we must have removed that one record. And basically, those are the the various CRUD operations. Probably what we might want to do is be able to change the role as well, right? So that we can make somebody an admin, for instance, right? So let's take a look at that, right? So for instance, what we'd like to be able to do maybe is maybe have a column where we can see the roles, right? So for instance, in the user interface, one of the columns might be the role. So here the role, which we need to add here, role. There it is, student, blah, 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 blah. And also when we create a new user, we need kind of like a drop down. So let's create a drop down in the user interface where we update, right? So this is input button. So maybe add a new column in between here. So a new column right before the buttons, TH, a select, where we can change the role. Right, control, yep. And so here are the options. And these are the values, admin, student, faculty. I think those are, I forget, what are the valid values? In the schema, no? We had the schema. The valid values are student, faculty, and admin. Yep, okay, so student, faculty. So admin, student, faculty, like that, right? Okay, so this is going to allow us to change the dropdown, right? Change the dropdown. Let's see if that works. So student, faculty, so it changes. Very good. And so we should be able to update, and it should change the role, right? So let's see if that's true. So let's change Antonio here. So he's a student, right? So that works, right? Student. So let's change it to a admin. Let's clear that. Let's see if it works. So update. Okay, now he's an admin. Let's refresh to make sure. There we go. So he is an admin. So I should be able to log in as admin, and he should be able to, for instance, access this table, right? And so that button, that first button when we logged in our profile. So let's go back to our profile, right? Requests. What happened to my profile? Probably because I restarted the server so many times. Maybe I'm still not logged in. I'm not logged in anymore, maybe. Okay, so I should be able to log in as or let's make Alice admin. Let's make Alice admin. Log in. If I go to admin, Alice here, she's a student, so I'm going to do edit, make her an admin, update. So now she's an admin, so I should be able to log in as her. Bob is a student. So if I go back to my profile here, this admin link should be available only if I'm an admin, right? Only if an admin. And indeed, notice that I am enrolled as a admin as Alice. If I log out and I log in as Bob, notice that my role is a student. So this link should show or not show depending on whether I'm an admin or not, right? So let's do that. So in the user interface, I could just hide or not show, right, that in the profile, this link, I can hide it. I can say, if, let's see, do I have the current user? So here's a user. That's what I'm displaying here as a user, right? I can say user dot role. If it's an admin, then I want to display this. Otherwise, I don't want to display it, right? Okay, so it's complaining that role might not be the right type. So let's import that type that we created. Where do we create the type? Here, right? Let's export this. So let's import that type. Import user. Where's user? Here, right? There it is. And let's declare this as user. And let's add a role here. All right. Yeah, so if the role is admin, then display admin, otherwise no, right? So there it is. So Bob is not an admin, so I don't get the link. I don't get the link. But if I log out and I log in as Alice, so she's an admin, so she gets the link, admin, right? So that's one way to protect certain places in the user interface, right? So she would be able to go in and work out all that she needs to do as an admin, but Bob would not, right? So he would not, right? But somebody who's smart might have noticed that, or they might try it out and still navigate to the admin, even though they're not admin, right? And so they might try out the URLs and whatnot, right? So we would need to protect it somehow and say, well, actually, no, you're not able to come in here, even though you navigated here. So one way would be to remember only the server knows who's logged in, right? Only what you have on the client, it's only a copy of whatever the server knows, right? The server should always be the single source of truth, right? Any copy that you have on the client is only that, a stale copy at best, right? So one thing that what might do here is that the admin might go out to the server and say, hey, is anybody logged in? Is there a role, right? So one of the things that might do is even protect this going out to the server, right? Even that should be protected, right? Because somebody might figure out that you can still get the users like this, right? Just by knowing the URL, you could go fetch this information with usernames, password, everything, right? So we might want to protect the URL itself. So here, this retrieving of the users should not be just open to anybody, right? Like it is right now. So what we should do here is protect it and say, oh, well, only if the person is currently, if there's somebody currently logged in, at least, right? And if that person's role is admin, then allow them to do this. Otherwise, fail it, right? Send back an unauthorized, right? So here we can protect these URLs by first retrieving the current user. There it is, right? And then if there's no current user, we can send unauthorized. Or if there is a user, so first if nobody logged in, it's an authorized, right? But also, we can say or, if it's not an admin, right, then just send back a 401, right? So even if you were able to know what the URL is, you can't unless you log in as an admin. Okay, so let's try this again. So now, right, if I come back here, the user interface, and I try to, well, the server restarted, obviously. Nobody's logged in. So notice it's sending a 401, right? So you're not even allowed here, okay? So if I try to log in, right, and I log in as Alice, hopefully, so log in, admin, so she's logged in, right? She's an admin, no 401, right? So if I log out and then I log back in maybe as Bob, who's not an admin, right? Well, first of all, he doesn't even have the link to go there. But say he, he maybe saw the URL, as he was looking behind Alice while she was working, right? And he realized that there's this URL, right? Or just randomly, he might be trying out different URLs, right? Where he might say, "Ooh, I saw an admin there." Okay, so because he's not, he's logged in, right? But his role is not an admin, so we're throwing back at 401. Obviously, we would have to catch this and very gently, or let them know that they don't have access to that. Does that make sense? So he's still logged in, right? Notice that goes back, and he's still logged in. He has his identity, but because of his role, he can't do that. We probably even might, put in a record in a database saying that Bob knew that URL and tried to go to the admin, right? And just have an audit, right? That's saying that he tried to enter an unauthorized location, right? And just keep an eye on that, right? Anyway, so next week we'll talk a little more about protecting routes, right? Maybe not even catching it, copying all this state probably in a reducer, right, to keep it around, so that we can cache some of this on the client, do some of this logic here in the user interface, protect routes, protect things, and more of that next week. Okay. All right, that's all I had for you. Let's if we want to stay longer and have, if you need help with the assignment, please stay, and we can do one-on-ones if you need some help. All right. All right. Excellent. Thank you.